Okay, what's up, y'all? This is Sky Santana, aka Aubrey. Aubrey, aka Sky Santana, child. If you're watching this from the Sky Santana channel, welcome. If you're watching this from Aladdin Souls, bitch, why you still there? Okay. For those of y'all that's confused, I am now an astrologer. Okay. I have a spirituality channel called Aligning Souls where I, for the last 2 years, have been putting up zodiac videos and things like that and doing spiritual content. But at some point, I may merge the two channels. At some point, I may not. I still am up in the air. So from now on, what I'm going to be doing is premiering videos on both channels, okay? Until I figure out exactly what the fuck I'm doing, because I don't know if I'm gonna blend the channels. I don't know if I'm gonna keep it separate. I don't know. But what I do know is that doing tarot videos in the way that I was doing it the last few years, I'm kind of over that, and I'm kind of rebranding. You know what I mean? Diving deeper into astrology, okay? So for those that have not caught the Venus in retrograde videos that I put out a couple of weeks ago, I'll say this. Tarot tells you what is going on, whereas astrology gives you a deeper meaning, right? It gives you more depth, right? It gives you more of the picture. And that's what I'm all about. I love a good mystery, but not when it comes to my fucking life and not when it comes to this shit, okay? So the deeper that we could get, the more clarity that we could get, the better, okay? So now that we got the pleasantries out of the way, let's get into the fucking bullshit that is coming up. Mercury fucking retrograde in Libra, right? Listen, everybody and their mama knows about a Mercury retrograde. Like, you hear people say it all the time. Oh my God, my ex is going to come back. Or, oh my God, my phone is going to die. And like all of these cliche things that, yeah, while it does happen, a lot of people tend to become fake astrologers during this time, fake astrologers during this time. And this is when everybody suddenly is into astrology and you have people with all of these quotes and different things. And a lot of it is fucking surface bullshit. A lot of it is, okay? And I'm not here to sugarcoat shit for you guys. I'm gonna keep it real with you. These next few weeks are gonna be rough. They're gonna be weird. They're gonna be rocky. Secrets are gonna come out. Things are gonna get exposed. It's not gonna be easy. It's not gonna be pretty. You're gonna notice things happening on a collective level, probably within, the media and within different news outlets and on social media and things like that, but definitely on a soul collective level. Now, we're at a point where, and especially if you've been following me for the last 2 years, you have heard me say several times, get on your shit before shit gets on you. If you're not at the right career, you need to be. If you're not in the right relationship, you need to get out and get into one. Or like all of these things that you have heard me say the last 2 years. And now we're finally coming to a point where these things are coming to head, right? And I heard another astrologer, another light worker, actually put it into better perspective. And the analogy that they used was that for such a long time, we were in Kansas. We had this view of the world that we, was so used to and so accustomed to, and things have changed. And, ever since then, it's kind of like we've been brought out of Kansas, but transiting, right? Transiting, like feeling like, okay, new life is coming, a new world is coming, but we haven't yet made it to the new world yet. And that's kind of where we've been the last couple of months, is just transiting through the sky. Think of it as like a tornado that comes in and fucks everything up, right? It's like, what's going to stay with you? What's not? What's coming like to Oz with you? Like, that's kind of the energy that we've been in. Now, over these next 3 weeks, you're going to find that, yes, that tornado is picking up. And then by October 17th, we're going to be in Oz. But what is the world going to look like? You know what I mean? Like, what and how are things going to be? That is the question. These next couple of weeks are going to be extremely crucial because Mercury retrogrades are known to be quite heavy, known to be quite chaotic, but this one is definitely going to be even more chaotic because it's going to be in a sign of Libra, a sign that we have not seen in over 7 years, which is a big fucking deal, especially when you tie in twin flames and love connections and things like that. And let's just go ahead and get deeper into this, okay? If this is your first time with me doing a transit reading, understand this is going to be for the collective as well as all 12 zodiac. I will, once I get through the collective reading, I will go ahead and break it down individually. okay, into the 12 zodiac signs. And I encourage you all to go to my website and book a reading with me, okay? Because just because I'm telling you what's happening on a zodiac collective level does not mean that that is exactly how it's going to impact you. Understand, we all have a collective thing that we go through together, and then we have our personal thing that we go through, right? Because how it's hitting you on a collective, just because you're a Taurus sun sign, does not mean that it's going to hit you the same way, as a natal, whatever, right? Okay. So definitely make sure that you're checking your charts to see where Mercury falls, but more importantly, see where Libra falls in your chart. That'll definitely help you figure out more accurately, exactly how you're going to be affected. But again, that's why the fuck I'm here. Go book a reading. Okay. So let's go ahead and get into this with the textbook definitions for the slow bitches in the back. All right. So Mercury retrograde, right? Mercury is the planet that governs communication, travel, and technology. And when it goes retrograde, aka, appears to be moving backward in the sky, all things Mercury related can be a bit haywire. Now, we've already had 2 Mercury retrogrades this year, with the third and final retrograde beginning on September 27th, which was yesterday, if you're watching this in current time. And that is going to last all the way up until October 18th. This is why I'm saying things are going to be quite weird up until the 18th. And you guys can expect things to happen on a personal level at first for like the first week, and then the last 2 weeks, or, maybe towards the third week, things are going to, let me get through this and you'll better understand. But definitely everything is going to start on a personal level. And you might even see it happening within a collective level first. But yeah, collective, us, the universe, the media, we're all connected. Okay. Everything is connected. And that's why 2020 was so trash, right? Because ultimately, the world as it is today is a reflection of who we've always been. So all of these natural disasters, all of these things going wrong, like these are just simply like you ever had like, how do I put it? Like you ever been drunk and then like went to a sauna and then like all the toxins just came up out of your body, you know what I mean? Like, and now you were drinking the next day and like trying to detox. Like that's what's happening right now. The world is being detoxed inside out. It's happening on a collective level. It's happening on a spiritual, physical, mental, emotional, every single type of level that it can happen, right? And so you guys are, again, definitely going to be witnessing this happening within the world as we've been, throughout all the natural disasters, police brutality, protests, which I also have a couple of messages for as well. I will be putting those out soon. But you're also definitely more than likely going to feel this on a soul level as well, right? But back to this. So far this year, we've made it through a mentally exhausting retrograde in Aquarius and a chaotic, gossip-loving retrograde in Gemini. But this time, we might be catching a bit of a break, okay? Because from yesterday up until October 18th, Mercury is going to be doing its backward stance in Libra, okay? Which is a sign that's known for being peaceful and harmonious and relationship oriented, right? Now, Libra is ruled by Venus, which is the planet of love and affection. And as a result, our social lives will be the start of this retrograde. This is going to be a transit where we will deepen the need to recalibrate our most important relationships, which was a theme that has been going on since Libra season has started on the 22nd. So retrogrades, they tend to be opportunities to reflect on certain areas of our life. And since Libra is the sign of one-on-one partnerships, Mercury retrograde will have us revise, review, and rethink how we are relating to one another as a way to find more balance and fairness within our most important relationships, right? So during this transit, you're going to be asked to consider how you relate to all of the people in your life, okay? Not just the one you're in a relationship with or the one that you're interested in dating, but this includes romantic partners, friends, family, even your coworkers, and how you can make these methods of communication and these forms of communication more harmonious, right? But keep in mind, we also do still have Venus and Scorpio, okay? Which is challenging our relationships, okay? You're not wanting anything that's surface level. You're wanting to go deeper, right? See, the thing with Libra energy is that it's very much water under the bridge. You know what I mean? Very much water under the bridge. What works, what doesn't work, how we can get everything to a place where it does work, right? So as Mercury is entering retrograde, is also going to be locked in a square with transformated Pluto, right? So for those of you guys that don't know what that means, anytime 2 planets square off against each other, it's kind of like they're in a debate, like a heated debate. They're fighting off against one another. And Mercury is the planet of logic, and Pluto is the planet of life and death, rebirth, right? So while having Mercury being retrograde and is locked in a square with transformative Pluto, this is going to expose a lot of existing relationship patterns that are up for renewal, right? Who are these motherfuckers that you need to cut off? Who has been in your life that you have been wanting to release for the longest time, but you just hadn't had enough information or enough leeway or enough time to be able to do so? Now is not going to be a time where you're going to be able to avoid that. Like now, anybody or anything that is in your life that you should have cut off the last 2 years when I told you to cut it off, now is the fucking time where that is going to happen and is going to be up for renewal. So ultimately, let's keep it a fucking buck. Those motherfuckers that have done the work over the last 2 years, you guys are going to have it easier than everybody else because you've already fucking done the work. Everybody else who has not done the work, if you're still in a shitty ass relationship with a toxic motherfucker that's beating your ass, guess what? Guess what? He probably going to beat your ass this time. You damn near going to die before you realize I have to get out. Or if you're still at a fucking job that you fucking hate, you're probably going to get scheduled to work 30 days straight before you fucking realize, damn, I got to get out. Like the Tower moment is about to hit, especially with Pluto going on. And then Chiron all up in the mix somewhere in here. Like, this is not about to be pretty. I know for me personally, you know, where I'm being affected, which is in my 9th house, and also to keep in mind, I'm a light worker, I'm psychic, I'm a healer, all of that, right? So I tend to go through transits a lot earlier than you guys do. And I was even up, you know, frustrated and upset and worried, like, oh my God, what the fuck am I about to go through? You know what I mean? Because I don't feel like I'm exempt, you know, I mean, I'm still human, you know, and if anything, I just go through shit earlier. And so basically, long story short, a lot of what I'm doing now and the changes that I need to make, I've already made. And that is my point, right? Go along with the flow during this time period. Now it's not the time for you to fight back or, I mean, it's never a good time for you to fight back against the universe because the universe is always going to win. You know what I mean? Like life is here for you. It's not happening to you. It's happening for you. So just go with the flow and you're going to be fine. Right? So right now, you're going to feel the need to reshape the way that you interpret and the way that you communicate information, and therefore transform how you express your needs with your partners, your bosses, other important people in your life. And for the next month, is it going to be crucial for you to really take the time to think about how you've been communicating with the people in your life. Is it productive? Is it respectful? Is it efficient? Also, think about how you want to be communicated with, right? Like, do you want your boss to give it to you straight to the point? Or would you much rather receive, you know, sweet little positive feedback wrapped up in a bow? Like, think about that. Think about that and then let them know. But I would probably wait until October 18th just because, you know, you don't want anything getting misconstrued. You know what I'm saying? Y'all know how that shit go. It's Mercury Retrograde, bitch. Okay? But listen, there's also extra incentives to take advantage of this period of reflection, right? Because we have Pluto and Chiron, okay? So you can expect to see a lot of healing and you can expect to experience personally a lot of healing and a lot of transformation around these matters, particularly about exes and frenemies of the past who are resurfacing. Okay, so yes, this is a time where your ex is going to show up and knock on your door. This is a time where you know, you may get a call from your ex, or maybe for those of you guys that have not dealt with ex issues, it'll come up. Like, I know a lot of people that are in twin flame situations right now, and for those of you guys that are listening and you're in a twin flame dynamic, now is a time where karmic energy is going to be off the fucking wire. You know what I'm saying? It's going to be off the fucking wire, especially for your divine masculine. It's going to be off the fucking wire. It's going to have to come up to be let out. And that's just what it is. In order to move on, first we have to dive deep, figure out what the issue is, bring it up, face it, to be able to push it out. And that's just what the fuck it is. So especially for those divine feminines and masculines out there, this is not going to be an easy time. It's not. It's not. You know, but like I said, this is a Mercury retrograde, okay? So you should expect communication mishaps, okay? From October 5th to October 10th, Mercury is going to be meeting with Mars, which could trigger intense exchanges with our nearest and dearest, okay? So we must be careful with what it is that we say, and most importantly, how we say it, right? When Mars and Mercury meet, words can feel like weapons, and around this time, we could really say something that later on we could regret. So, word of advice, just shut the fuck up. Think before you speak, okay? Because retrograde or not, that's something that you need to be doing anyways, okay? And the best way to prepare for all of this is to just take it easy, okay? Like, honestly, at the end of the day, retrogrades are here for us to slow the fuck down, okay? To slow the fuck down, okay? So before we go ahead and get into the actual zodiac signs, I'm going to reiterate it for you guys, okay? Some of the themes that are happening with this September 2021 Mercury retrograde, again, it's going to be from September 27th through October 17th, right? The communication planet of Mercury is going to be retrograde in Libra, which is a cardinal sign, a cardinal air sign, right? Also, the most initiative taking out of all the air signs, right? Libras are known for being super social, justice seeking, lovers of balance, beauty, partnership, like everything that comes under the scales, right? Now, people that have Libra in their natal charts, like people that are like Libra Sun, Libra Moon, Libra Rising, Libra Venus, typically are born mediators who are constantly seeking harmony, avoid conflict, and are wired to tune into both sides of any given story in order to reach an amicable situation. Now, Libras typically have an innate ability to take anything that they perceive as out of whack or aesthetically problematic and make it eye-catching and appealing. And they're designers and couples therapists of the zodiac. You know what I mean? And also, the air sign is also the ruler of the seventh house of and I'm not deleting that, okay? But the air sign is also the ruler of the seventh house of partnership. So pairing romantically, platonically, and professionally is their forte. Like if you think about your house system, the seventh house, it's ruled by Libra, right? So the vibe of Libra is very lighthearted, very personable, ambitious. And while Mercury is in this air sign, we're going to be prioritizing equality, justice, communication within one-on-one relationships. Now, that all sounds fairly productive, but I mean, at the end of the day, we also got to consider Libra does have its pitfalls, which can become mentally challenged or mentally charged, beauty focused, a little, vain, or just insistent on getting the scales balanced. You know what I mean? Because life is all about perspective, right? That's all alignment is. It's about perspective. Like you have the good and you have the bad, And so sometimes too much of Libra energy can be too much water under the bridge. And that's what it's been thus far. Hence why now Mercury is retrograde in Libra. Like it's not going forward in Libra, it's going retrograde in Libra because it's like, okay, what do we have to fix? Okay, where in life have you allowed too much? Okay, where have you needed to stand up to your boss, to your parent, to your boyfriend, to your girlfriend? Okay, where have you needed to add a little bit more self-love? And we've been preparing for this. Even if you think back to the full moons and the new moons over the summer, like this summer had a huge emphasis on love and self-love and putting yourself first, especially with the new moon in Leo, the new moon in Cancer, the new moon in Virgo, like all huge themes of self-love. And so now it's kind of being put to the test, So this Libra season isn't without other challenges that could, deal setbacks, delays, or tense clashes with the people in your orbit. And there's a couple of dates, definitely a couple of dates, like October 1st, where Mercury is going to be squaring Pluto, which is going to amplify your desire to shine light on that shadow side of your life. But it's also going to let you lean on coercive tactics. And then you also have like October 17th, which is the day before Mercury goes direct, where the sun is going to clash with Pluto, which is going to bring a lot of attention to control issues, destructive behaviors, power struggles, right? Then we also have a new moon on October 6th in Libra that would usually be okay, but with Mercury retrograde happening in a sign of Libra, miscommunication is going to be even worse, okay? And then you have the moon that's going to be nestling up to aggressive Mars, plus you got this tough angle to rebellious Uranus, so it's going to feel more like a drama-packed and potentially volatile new moon. Just giving you guys a heads up. And of course, around that time, I'm going to be doing readings as well, but I'm just giving you a brief overview of Mercury retrograde and the next 3 to 4 weeks to come, right? But Mercury retrograde isn't only about quiet solo time. It's also about trying to tie up loose ends in order to have the space to truly plow ahead. So this Mercury retrograde, especially with it being in Libra, this is a wonderful time for you to reconnect with a best friend from the past, to still yourself alongside your soulmate, or to tackle any project you've been putting off, or heal any old wounds within your closest one-on-one relationships. This is about hitting the brake and going in reverse. And this is all for the sake of a smoother trip ahead. Again, water under the bridge, but let's actually fix it this time. You know what I mean? Because too much water under the bridge eventually is going to overcrowd the bridge and overtake the bridge. So yes, let's smooth things over, but in a way to where we're not just patching shit up, but so that we can actually heal, you know? Now let's go ahead and get into it, okay? This is going to be the most intense. Okay, this is going to be the most intense Mercury retrograde right now for 3 signs, right? And those 3 signs are Libra, Capricorn, and Gemini. So it's going to be the most intense for Libra because it's happening in your fucking sign. I mean, hello. Okay, so ultimately, this is going to bring about a total rebirth of your purpose, Libras. Okay, but you will have to pass through intense experiences of releasing outworn aspects of your identity along the way. And the more that you can clear and purge during the first half of the retrograde, the better you will be able to open more fully to new desires. Okay, now this is going to be the most challenging for Capricorns, because due to being an earth sign, you can become attached to your routines and resist making changes, major changes, which is what needs to happen right now, Capricorn. So it's going to be vitally important for you to move as fluidly as possible within the currents that will be reshaping your life. In particular, you're going to need to rethink the role that you have been playing in public. Okay? Now, this is going to be the most beneficial time period for Geminis, okay? Mercury retrograde in Libra will form a flowing trine to your sign, Gemini. So this is going to make it a very exciting period for experimenting with new ways to creatively express yourself, but it's also going to allow you to make it a priority to be as inventive as possible, you know, actively seeking out new sources of inspiration to explore, right? Now, let's go ahead and get into the individual zodiac signs. If somebody could be so kind as to write the timestamps down below. As I mentioned, if you're new to this, we just did the collective. We're about to get into the individual zodiac signs. You're going to want to listen for your sun sign and your rising sign, okay? Don't ask me why, bitch. Just do it, okay? Listen for your sun sign and your rising sign. Also, keep in mind, I'm just telling you how it's affecting you on a collective level, zodiac sign wise, but do understand that you still have your natal chart. Okay, so you're going to want to look within your natal chart and see where Libra is placed, what houses is placed in, to also better understand and get a deeper understanding of how you are going to be impacted. Okay, so book a personal reading with me, okay, and we can do a whole reading, baby. Let's get into it. We can do a whole personal reading and get into it and figure out how the fuck your ass is about to be impacted on what the fuck about to go down. Okay, bitch, you gonna make the odds, or you still gonna be in Kansas? Let's talk about it. Okay, so let's go ahead and get deeper into this, starting off with Aries, sun and rising sign. Okay, so Aries, Messenger Mercury is gonna go retrograde through your 7th house of partnership. So you could very well have an X or 2 pop back up out of the blue. I mean, listen, let's get into it. Okay. Although it's not necessarily worth reading into, given the tricky, playful, and curious vibe of this transit, you can still have motherfuckers showing up out of the goddamn woodwork, okay? I'm just keeping a buck with y'all, okay? So listen, if you don't want an ex to come back, baby, you better change your number, okay? But they still probably gonna find a way, okay? Because see, that's the thing with the universe. When you got lessons to learn, they're gonna figure it out, okay? So you could block a motherfucker and they're gonna email you, okay? You could throw away your phone, throw it in the river, they're gonna show up at your house, okay? You could say that you moved, baby. They the mailman at your new house, okay? They already know. Somehow, some way, they're going to get to you, okay? So whatever lessons come up during this time period, just learn them, okay? Just learn them. Just because they're back doesn't mean that you're supposed to be with this person, okay? It does not mean that you're supposed to be with this person. It could literally just be, okay, needing closure or needing to end this off in a certain way, or end this for good, because maybe you're about to go into a whole new relationship and this is that stalker ex that the universe already knows is going to try to pop back up and threaten some shit with your new babe, okay? Let's get into it, all right? But listen, more importantly, this is going to be a period that encourages you to reflect on and reassess how you're showing up in your one-on-one relationships, okay? And what other people are bringing to the table as well. So take advantage by talking through any misunderstandings with your significant other, your best friend forever, your business partner, your closest colleague, and just work through unfinished business as a team. Now, let me go ahead and give you a protection message. Okay, Aries. So your protection message for Mercury retrograde is exchanging gifts. Now, be careful what you pray for because you just might get it. And then you realize you don't want to face the hefty price tag that comes with it. So you may find yourself in a situation that you've always desired, but you know you will have to walk away from or even fail at it because you can't or won't pay the dues that it asks of you. For example, if you want to be famous, you want to be a famous musician, you have to practice your craft every day. If you want to be a multimillionaire, you have to be responsible for managing the money and paying the taxes. Even a windfall bears a cost. So it's okay because spirit will help you achieve balance over time. Now, another message here could be that, being only the giver and not the receiver plays out in many relationships in your life where you find yourself in victim mode, in a codependent dynamic, or holding on to a false sense of control. Others may push you to continue to prove yourself, and a time has come to distance yourself from this kind of imbalance. Being aware of the need for both give and take is the first step to your true destiny. It's all good and getting better. Not only can you handle this, but you can flourish as a result, okay? So Aries, those of you guys that are suffering from codependent dynamics right now, cut it the fuck out. Cut it the fuck out. It's time for you to step up and rise into your own, baby. You're a motherfucking Aries, bitch. You independent for a reason, okay? Independent for a reason, all right? Thank you. I'll see you in the next one. Bye. Mwah. Okay, Taurus, let's get the fuck into her, okay? So listen, this is going to be for my Taurus sun and my Taurus rising, okay? Mercury is going to be retrograding, moving backward through your sixth house of health and routine, okay? This is also the house of your jobs, everyday work, and this is going to be nudging you to look at how you have been approaching your everyday hustle, okay? If you could use a little bit more balance, maybe a little bit more self-care, or most likely more time for connection, beauty, and romance, and possibly some time to rework your approach, right? So what does this mean? Some of you guys might be working too fucking much, okay? Are you working too much? Are you spending so much time at your job that you are neglecting yourself, that you're neglecting your own personal health, that you're neglecting your own personal wealth, right? Okay, or trying to chase wealth, are you neglecting your health, right? Are you in need of a spa day? Are you in need of just some time to just relax? You know what I mean? Or maybe the opposite. Maybe you are the type that has so much to do, but you're like me, okay? You've developed this recent habit of falling asleep at fucking 8 a.m., waking up at 4 p.m., okay? And then you stop working by midnight, okay? Like, are you exhibiting unhealthy habits that are affecting your everyday and keeping you stagnant? Now's the time where there might be a need to rework a couple of things. You know what I mean? Because your ruler, Venus's other home sign is the host of this retrograde. So you're going to connect with the themes, knowing that, yeah, you would totally benefit from more spontaneity, from more fun, from more time with your friends or your lover, and just getting off the fucking couch, okay? And you have the green light to go back to the drawing board and figure out what is the best way to make that happen. Now, I already have a protection card drawn up for you guys, and that energy is never ending story. So, Taurus, this is a time for you to avoid drama at all costs, okay? Especially when it comes to other people's shit. Your sensitivity is on overload these days, and you're best served by keeping your distance. Your mantra today is not my circus, not my monkeys. All the drama will pass and you will carry on, unscathed and blameless. And so, Taurus, I'm going to tell you, stay in your lane, okay? This is a time period where you need to mind your business. Whatever's going on, let it roll off your back. It's not about you. It don't affect you, okay? Even if it is about you, let go and let God, okay? Now is not a time for you to get worked up, for a lot of you guys, I feel like some of you guys may go on social media, and then once you come off of social media, your emotions can be in a completely different place than it was when you logged on to social media. That's a fucking sign to let go and let God. That's a sign to protect your energy. And right now, over these next 3 weeks, as shit is hitting the fan, as chaos is erupting and secrets and everything is coming out, just protect your energy, okay? And this even goes down to, your bosses at work. Like, why are you working and picking up extra shifts and extra, you're going to make the money. You're going to be fine. You don't need to stress out about that retirement 401k plan or whatever is the reason. Like, you're going to be fine. Take the necessary time for you, and you're going to be fine. You're going to be fine. Just get out the way these next 3 weeks. Get out the way, okay? Moving on. Geminis, this is going to be for my Geminis, Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus signs, okay? So, for my Geminis, this is going to be happening in your 5th house, okay? 5th house of romance, okay? So, this is going to be turning your attention to any already established business or projects that allow you to express yourself, to have fun, flirt, play, okay? You're a big fan of definitive plans, okay, which can be incredibly helpful over the course of the next 3 weeks, you know, because your ruling planet Mercury is urging you to embrace the moment as much as possible, right? So at the same time, the lighthearted, slightly flighty feeling of the retrograde could spur some random encounters with exes or confusing conversations with new matches, okay? So when in doubt, the main lesson of this retrograde is for you to trust your heart and your own voice. Let's take a look at what we have for you. So the energies that we have for you, Geminis, is Truth Be Told and the Fates, okay? So there could possibly be somebody that is coming back into your orbit during this time. This could possibly even be an ex, okay? Maybe an ex where things got off to a wrong start, or maybe never actually got to get off the ground, right? Where are you being dishonest with yourself or other people, Geminis? If you're unhappy in any area of your life, look for signs of denial. This can also pertain to other people being misleading or withholding or acting from hidden agendas. So now is the time to say no to dishonesty in all forms and ask for the truth. Even if you don't like what you hear, acknowledging it is going to be the key to a beautiful new future where you no longer labor under the heavy burdens that deceit and denial impose on you. So set yourself free. Nothing less than truth is required right now. And Geminis, I feel like with this happening in your 5th house, again, you're realizing that you're missing out on life, right? You're missing out. And so it's time for you to express yourself. Like, things happen for a reason. And you have to understand that this is a chance that you are being given by spirit, right? This is divine intervention happening so that you can live this, right? You know, and it may be difficult to understand why painful things happen to good people. You know, fate is a mystery. After all, yet what we do with our circumstances, the way in which we respond to life challenges, is how we rise up to greet our destiny. So now is one of those times to be aware of your powerlessness to change certain situations and just surrender to acceptance. Hang in there. Life is only going to get better. Act as if you believe that, for the only thing that you can control right now is your attitude. And when you align with the fates, being mindful of what you can and cannot change, serenity will come to you. So right now, the universe is saying, hey, listen, you cannot build Rome in a day. So don't try to, bitch, okay? Sit the fuck down and have some fucking fun, okay? You can't build Rome in a day, but bitch, you could go to Romeo's party tonight, okay? How about that? Let's get into it, Geminis, okay? Actually, let's not. It's Cancer's turn. What's up, Cancer, Sun, Moon? Well, Cancer and Cancer, Sun, and Rising. Let's go ahead and get into it, okay? So, Cancers, this is going to be happening in your 4th house of home life this time around. So you might want to carve out time to catch up with loved ones, maybe get clear on the foundations that gave way to current emotional questions, and nurture your sense of security, okay? Childhood trauma could very well come up during this time. I'm gonna keep it a buck with y'all, okay? Because you could also be interested in redesigning your domestic sanctuary, okay? Which could require, you know, maybe you healing old wounds or even returning to a place that you used to live. And with the retrograde's emphasis on partnership, you're going to do well to approach any of this challenging terrain with the support of your nearest and dearest, whether it's a lover, a friend, or a family member. So now's the time where you should probably lean towards your circle as you're dealing with this inner turmoil, okay, in regards to either your physical home or your inner home of self, okay? So let's go ahead and see what energy we have for you, for what protection message we have for you. Cancers, are you not happy? Are you not happy? Let's start there. Lighten up, Cancers, because now is the time to be ridiculous and silly. See the world through the eyes of a clown, and don't take yourself or any situation right now too seriously. Have fun, be playful, and make laughter the order of the day. You'll be surprised by how everything seems to fall into place when humor leads the way. Because being happy and lighthearted is a wonderful icebreaker, right? A wonderful icebreaker, I'm sorry. Life is meant for play as well as work, for laughter as well as tears, for celebration as well as focus. Spirit wants to sparkle through your focus. Through you today. Child, I cannot speak worth a damn. Smile and enjoy each breath as each moment miracles lie in the silly things today, right? So I feel like really ultimately it's just you finding your inner child. That's what this is about. You're not happy with life, and it's about, okay, is there anything that's still blocking me from childhood? If so, let me get rid of it. If not, let me just connect with my inner child. And again, some of you guys may need to remove some old wounds. Some of you guys need to visit your childhood home. You know, there could be a piece of your childhood, like something from your childhood that you need to be able to move forward. You know, maybe it's a dream that you realize you had as a kid that you totally forgot about because as an adult, you know, people told you, oh, it's unrealistic, or y'all know how this shit goes. Y'all know how this goes, right? So definitely do what you got to do, Cancers, but make every moment count. Make every moment count. Now, for my Leos, this is going to be happening in your 3rd house of communication. Now, Leos, sun and rising signs, you might want to take these traditional retrograde steps extra seriously, right? Or those traditional retrograde steps, should I say, extra seriously. You know, backing up all of your crucial data and then doing it again and then again and then again, just to be certain, you know. Also, know that you're going to need to save and show your receipts explaining facts, figures, and a variety of other details to friends, colleagues, healthcare providers, who over and over and over again, because wires will get crossed. Because this is happening in your 3rd house of communication, okay? So everybody about to get on your damn nerves, basically, but it is what it is. The good news is that lots of friends, old friends, neighbors, and coworkers could also pop up hoping to catch up with you, okay? But just remember, especially when life gets stressful, as it's going to do over these next 3 to 4 weeks, your time and energy are valuable and a limited resource. So just because old energy is popping back up does not mean that you need to be receptive. Okay, now let me go ahead and give you guys a protective message. There are times when it's familiar and known is not the best choice. Human beings are memory-driven creatures, and we all look for certainty. For what we know, even if the qualities we seek in other people and in external conditions are expressed in unhealthy ways. Avoid being too eager to find home. Choose something unfamiliar and trust that there is where you will find a new normal that supports your spirit. But remember, if you do what you did, you'll always get what you got. Do the opposite of what feels right, even if it's uncomfortable, because what feels right is really what feels familiar. And you will attract and be drawn to the very things you don't want anymore. This time will not be any different unless you do something different. So like I said, when these energies pop back up, because it will, don't feel as though you have to open the door to every old energy. Please don't feel that way. You don't have to. Okay, because again, if you do what you've always done, you're going to get what you've always gotten. You know, so if you need to have closure with people, have that closure. If you don't want to have closure and you just want to cut shit off, cut it off. But don't feel obligated to give anybody any of your energy, right? Remember, your time and your energy are a valuable, limited source. Very limited resource. So remember that, okay? Now, moving on. Virgos, sun and rising. Now, the messenger planet, your ruler, okay, because Mercury is ruled by Virgo, is going to be moving backward through your 2nd house of income, okay? Your 2nd house is a house of finances, of income, of personal values, right? So this means that you're going to be feeling compelled to get into the weeds, okay? Analyzing, reorganizing, and possibly revising your approach to financial growth, okay? Now, maybe you're ready to brush up your resume so you can score a higher paying, more fulfilling opportunity, or maybe you want to rework your long-term savings or debt plan, okay? Let's be real. You're pretty content to do all of this. I mean, bitch, you're a fucking Virgo, okay? Your life is a fucking spreadsheet. Like, let's be real, okay? But because this is a Mercury that is being retrograded by Libra, you could find that working alongside a partner during this time, a dear friend, a business partner, or a financial coach is probably the best way for you to tackle these ongoing issues, you know, so that you can be able to pinpoint any lasting solutions and just help set yourself up for even better returns on your investments, okay? So, yeah, definitely take advantage of any financial opportunities, whether it be to make money, clean up money, get rid of money, whatever it is that you got to do, but working alongside someone. Remember, this is a retrograde that is happening in Libra, so it's all about partnerships, right? So let's go ahead and pull you a protection energy. What do we have for Virgos? Okay, so for Virgos, we have breathe, which sounds about right. Sounds about right. Virgo, inertia, laziness, and apathy are signs not of slowing down, but of decay and lifelessness. Wake up and do something to shake this off. Go outside for some air. A walk in nature will remind you that all of life is ensouled and magical. Get some exercise, move out of your head and into your body, and breathe in deeply. Each breath is precious. And Spirit is basically saying, hey, listen, bitch. You don't have to do it all by yourself, nor are we asking you to. Maybe that's part of the fucking problem, Virgo. Stop trying to do every goddamn thing by yourself and carry the world on your fucking back. Now is the time when you need to be involving other people into your affairs. I know you might be private about revealing your worth or like, come on, you're an earth sign. And so, you know, as an earth sign, you got it, right? You're very practical, very, calculated. But now you need help. So let's lessen the load. Let's allow somebody else in to help, and all will be fine. Okay? So, Libra, sun, and rising signs. Okay? Come to the front, girl. Come to the front, Miss Star of the show. Okay? Come to the front, Beyonce. What's going on, Libra? So, for the next 3 weeks, Mercury is going to be retrograde in your sign, Libra. Okay? Which is going to be in your first house of self, encouraging you to take a microscope to your personal brand. Okay? Even if you're not an influencer, you're going to be thinking a lot about how you present yourself to the world, how you're perceived, and what you want to showcase more or less of, right? You're going to be thinking about big picture, personal goals, which could also be a chief focus now, especially those that are undeniably tied to important people in your life. Okay, so spending more time journaling, meditating, or even talking through all of this with somebody who you trust and love, it can definitely help you to ultimately gain more clarity about what it is that you want and how you are going to get it. You are an empathy overload and need to get grounded again, so tune out for a bit. Hypersensitive, you're suffering from psychic exhaustion. This signals a time for a recharging of your batteries, so set energetic boundaries, take a salt bath, empty your mind, and get back to you. It's not a time to be too open. Soon enough, you can let your guard down. Right now, you need self-care and self-love, and it's time to say no thank you to anyone in your life who exhausts you. Won't that feel good? Now, your other energy that you have is yin. Crazy how those two pair up, right? Because they're both about self-care, which is what Libra needs, okay? Libra, listen. Libras, y'all love to go with the flow. And y'all are fucking doormats, okay? Sometimes to your own detriment. And right now is the time you need to get out the mix. Get out the mix. Let people handle their own shit. Okay? Now, your other message is, do you have trouble receiving? You stop the flow of abundance when you continually insist upon being a giver. You can't always lead, always give, always teach. You must be the student, the open vessel, and the one who receives the gift, gesture, or offer in equal measure. Open up and let life, love, abundance, and spirit fill you without demand or expectation. Just to receive the bounty that is yours. And that's what you guys are learning over these next couple of weeks, Libra, is that you don't always have to be the one to fix shit, right? Because Libras, even though you're all about love and luxury and art, y'all are doormats. Y'all are doormats. And so that's why this is placing the energy back on you, right? This is happening in your first house of self because it's not about anybody else. It's about you. This is Mercury retrograde in Libra, not Libra and the girls or Libra and everybody else or Libra first and then we're going to take. No, this is solely about Libra. So it's like, even if you think about it in literal terms, all the zodiac signs are having to adjust to your ways during this time period. So Libra, take that energy on and understand that it's okay to be selfish right now. Put yourself first. Anything that's not meant to be in your life right now, let it go. Anything that's not good for you, let it go. Stop bending over backwards if you don't have to. Allow people to bend over backwards for you. Allow people to show up and show out for you. The camera is on you right now. So why are you steady trying to be the director when you're the talent on camera? Think about that. Moving on. Scorpios, sun and rising signs. Scorpio, sun and rising. This is going to be happening in your 12th house of spirituality. Scorpios, y'all about to go through it. I'm not even going to hold you. I'm not even going to hold y'all. Y'all about to be going through it. Y'all about to be fucked up these next couple of weeks, okay? Because the 12th house has everything to do with like karmic endings and karma and darkness and shadow side and everything like that we run away from, okay? That Scorpios love because y'all love intensity and y'all love transformation and death and rebirth because that's what y'all are about. Okay, well, guess what? You're about to have 3 weeks of that shit, okay? So things that have been hidden within your subconscious that you have not realized have still been a problem are going to come up to surface. Childhood trauma, exes, relationships, just the ways in which people have abandoned you and treated you, that is all coming up. So it is going to be rough for you guys. I'm not even going to hold you. It's going to be a rough time period because all the ways in which people have abandoned you and treated you horribly, or even vice versa, the ways in which you've treated people horribly. Okay, we can go all day and talk about how maybe, you know, hurt people, but all sides of the situation are going to be coming up for you, right? And so this is going to be a time where you're going to need to take time out to rest, to recharge, get in tune with your intuition, right? Things are going to be very slow, very frustrating for you right now. Like, you're going to want to create, like, oh, I got to get this business off the ground. Oh, I got to do this. I got to do that. I got to da-da-da-da. But you're not going to be able to make movement. Not during this Mercury retrograde. Nope. Sit down. Okay? Because it's time for you to relax and understand what it is that you've been avoiding this whole time. Again, 12th house, subconscious, what's hidden. What have you been running away from that's been right in front of your face this whole time? So there will be secrets that come out. There will be things that come up to the surface that make you go, oh, ooh, my bad. Damn, I had no idea. Because these are things that have been standing in the way from you progressing even further. It's like you're scared of that love story. You're scared of that happy ending. You're scared of living successfully. Which is crazy because right now you're probably trying to build success, but do you even really believe that you could actually have it, or that it's really yours, or that someday you'll ever get there? Do you really? Because all of this is going to come up. So anything that you've been lying about to yourself, anything that's hidden deep within your subconscious, it's going to come out and it needs to be faced so it can be dealt with, right? In order to move on without any baggage, we first have to dive deep to go get it. It has to come up. You got to face it in order to release it, right? So tending to your inner life right now, healing old wounds that might be holding you back unwittingly, nurturing your spirituality and working with your intuition and your dreams. This is going to be the key way to making the most out of these next 3 to 4 weeks. Okay, definitely also too, you're going to want to have somebody around that you can trust, that you can talk to about some of these things that are coming up, because there's going to be some heavy deep shit. I'm not even going to hold you. There's going to be some heavy deep shit. Give me a protection for Scorpio. And then the two energies that we have is chaos and conflict and never ending story. And it's crazy because I'm not going to take this other card, but the overall general card is between worlds, because that's exactly where you are. It's like you're out of old life, but you're not yet in new life, because you're not understanding that as you're on this plane trying to go up to a higher level, there's still baggage way back in the back of the plane that you don't even realize is weighing the plane down. And that's why you're not able to elevate higher. And until you deal with this baggage and either kick this shit off or make the load lighter or return back to center or whatever you got to do with the fucking baggage, you're never going to be able to ascend higher on this plane until this shit is dealt with. And so you're constantly going to feel like you're moving in motion or moving motionless, or you're stagnant. And that's just true tea. That's just true tea. But let's go ahead and get into her. Chaos and conflict. All right. There is an advantage moment to restore order and recognize the opportunity for negotiation. Even in the seeming chaos, there is a kind of divine order, a complete resorting of elements. This is powerful. If your intention is to find the best solution for the highest good of all, there's positive news. The time is perfect. Things are already stirred up, so don't be afraid to jump into the mix. You'll discover everything you need to know about how this situation affects you long term. Be present in the eye of chaos. This moment is valuable. Do not waste it. I would listen to that. I would really, really listen to that and take heed of that. This is a time to avoid drama at all costs, especially when it comes to other people's shit. Your sensitivity is on overload these days, and you're best served by keeping your distance. Your mantra today is not my circus, not my monkeys. All the drama will pass and you will carry on unscathed and blameless. So yes, Scorpios, honestly, just deal with your shit. If it's your baggage, deal with it. If it's not, return to sender. It's literally that simple. Okay, we ain't got time for nobody else's drama right now. We ain't got time to look out for everybody else because we dealing with our own shit that's coming up. Period. All right, so moving on. Sagittarius, sun and rising. Sagittarius, sun and rising. So this retrograde is going to be happening in your 11th house, Sagittarius. It's going to be happening in your 11th house of networking. Okay. 11th house is a house of networking, of social groups, of friendships, of cultural groups, of hopes, of wishes. And so for the next 3 weeks, it's going to be more likely that old friends, colleagues, people you possibly met on a group date in 2019 suddenly resurface. You know, they might want to collaborate or talk about shared long-term wishes that could be achieved through teamwork. You know, it might even be people through, college or some shit, like people you haven't spoken to in a while, basically, right? Now, although you're usually all about throwing yourself into any exciting opportunity with a lot of optimism and joy, the nature of a Mercury retrograde is to cause at least a bit of tension, a bit of chaos and confusion. So you're going to want to make sure you're going into any group effort with eyes wide open. So just make sure you're not signing yourself up for a commitment that looks one way and sounds better than it actually is, okay? As I've been telling the other signs, just because energy is presenting itself does not mean that you have to be on the receiving end, okay? So, you're not ready to move forward at this time. And that has to be okay. Be poised in the face of demands and deadlines. Pretending you know what you're doing works sometimes, but if you adopt a fake it till you make it attitude, it will land you in some muck now. This is not the time to wing it and deliver something half finished. It's okay to postpone things until you are really ready. And it's better to disappoint others now than to wish you had later. So Sagittarius, I'm not really sure what exactly is coming up, but I feel like it's probably more of a test. I'm not really sure exactly what is going to come up for you, but it feels like maybe it's more of a test just to see, like how are you going to fare socially? You know what I mean? Like, are you going to be receptive to the energy that's coming towards you? Are you not? Are you going to be honest with yourself and say, hey, I don't, because here's the thing, whatever's happening during Mercury retrograde is happening for a reason, to test us, but so that we can pass and be blessed in other areas. So even if a situation shows up and somebody wants you on a group project, if you're honest and you're like, hey, no, I don't think that's really for me, there might be an opportunity that literally has your name written all over it that they might present you with next. You know what I'm saying? So just go with the flow. Also understand, protect your energy, and, life happens for you not to. Y'all understand. All right. Let's go ahead and move on. Capricorn. Okay. This is going to be for my Capricorn sun and rising. This is going to be happening in your 10th house of career, public reputation, public image. And so during this retrograde, Capricorns, you're going to be reassessing your top professional goals and the strategies that you've been using to hit them, right? It might be time for you to revamp an inspiration that is no longer serving you. Maybe you want to rethink how you can best lead a team, or simply reflect on how you can score that promotion that you've had your eyes on, right? Now, you're all for taking a slow, steady, calculated approach, right? So Mercury retrograde fueled delays aren't necessarily going to throw you off, but you do want to make sure that you see progress. And it's important to bear in mind that the greatest growth right now could happen in an internal way. Okay. So don't necessarily expect to go from being core staff to CEO today to tomorrow, but maybe you'll have a dinner, maybe you'll run into the CEO at a work party and be able to pick their brain and be like, hey, how did you get from CEO to, how did you get from, core staff to CEO, right? So whereas you're not going to be able to obviously advance within 3 weeks, maybe you'll receive the knowledge on how to do so, which will allow you to practically plan and figure out a strategy, right? So let's go ahead and pull a protection message for you guys. Your energy is imagine. Imagine. And this couldn't have been a more spot on protection card. Illusions and wishful thinking, rooted in a sense of lack, have entered your life. Now may be the time to see things as they truly are and not as you hoped or imagined that they would be. Release any fear, then envision anew. Perhaps you are anticipating that something fearful might happen and recreating that image of disaster over and over in your mind. The universe responds to such projections, so be aware of this catastrophizing. No matter what, illusions and awfulizing are a misuse of imagination. Clear the inner slate and stay grounded. Stay real. Only then can you truly have what it is that you desire. So Capricorns, are you scared of being that bitch? Okay. You could be telling yourself, oh, I want to be head bitch, top CEO, head of the company, this, that, and the third. But do you really? Is there some sort of trauma that you need to let go? You know, from an old job where maybe you got fired, you know, over some shit that they didn't, you know, really have proof on, you know, like whatever it is, there's going to be some sort of trauma or some sort of secrets that come up right now, Capricorns. And dare I say a bit of inner saboteur that could be going on. And don't worry, it's going to be happening with all of the signs. But for you guys, you might realize ways in which you've been holding yourself back with work. And it's just like, yeah, maybe this isn't the career for me. Or maybe this is the career for me, but I'm not showing up because I'm not showing up as hard as I should be because I feel like maybe I don't deserve it. Or maybe other people feel as though I don't deserve it. And I didn't even realize how that's been affecting me. And, you know, like, it's very internal now. The changes that happen now are going to be very internal. But again, it's all happening to get you on a better track, a better path. You know, so whether you are working at the wrong job or whether you aren't putting in as much time, energy, effort as you should be, at the end of these 3 weeks, you're going to come out of it much stronger and much more determined and much more aligned with the path that you're supposed to be on, and more aligned with your destiny. Okay? So, moving it along, Aquarius, okay? This is going to be happening, okay? This is for my Aquarius sun and rising signs. This is going to be happening in your 9th house of adventure and higher learning, okay? So, over the next 3 weeks, you're going to be daydreaming about these moments when you're just up and gone on an impromptu trip with your best friends, or maybe you took a class to pick up some quirky random new skills. And while the same old mundane routine might feel even more stale than usual now, you can find it challenging to make headway on any bold new plans, right? You could be wanting to buy a car. You could be wanting to get in a relationship. You could be wanting to go out and go on a vacation, but might be feeling like, damn, I'm not able to make that happen. So how do you fix that? Spend the next 3 weeks putting your nose to the grindstone, researching the eye-opening experiences that you want to have in the future, right? Then, whenever the moment is right, possibly in the mid to late fall or early winter, I want to say around like Thanksgiving time, that's when you'll have a clear runway for making these dreams real, okay? Somewhere around Thanksgiving, holiday season, right? It's probably going to be when you're able to make that shit happen, right? So let's go ahead and give you a protection message. So this is a time to avoid drama at all costs, especially when it comes to other people's shit. Your sensitivity is on overload these days, and you're best served by keeping your distance. Your mantra today is not my circus, not my monkeys. All this drama will pass, and you will carry on unscathed and blameless. Okay? Now, Pisces. So, Pisces, this is going to be happening in your 8th house, okay? Mercury is going to be retrograding through your 8th house of emotional bonds, sex, joint resources, and this is going to set the stage for re-examining any ongoing financial collaborations and intimate connections, okay? So if you're in a relationship where there's a lack of reciprocity or comfort for whatever reason, it could be a time to address that for your own emotional well-being. If you're single and you have been craving a connection that is as fulfilling as it is transformative, it could be time to get even more clear on how you're going to attract that. And should you get stuck, keep in mind that as a cardinal air sign, Libran energy is somewhat foreign to you, right? But this retrograde presents an opportunity to infuse your approach to love, sex, and shared money with Libra's lighthearted balance and beauty-seeking vibe, which could end up bringing you a surprise amount of satisfaction. Let's get into it. Be mindful of your expectations. This is not a time for guarantees. Things will not go as exactly as you plan or dictate. Let go and see what Spirit has in store. What takes hold in your life will be much better than you can imagine. And that's just what it is, Pisces, because now is the time where you're transforming. The 8th house is the house of Scorpio. That's the house of life, death, intensity, rebirth, transformation. And so no one really knows where any of us are going to be 3-4 weeks from now, but especially not you, and this happening in your 8th house. Yeah, I feel like you're going to transform in ways that you never even imagined. And again, if you're in a sticky relationship that you should not be in, it's not going to last. It's not going to last. It's not going to last. But if you are in a relationship where everything is going good, and then these 3 weeks pass and you realize, wow, this is amazing, you guys could form a deeper level of commitment and possibly get engaged, possibly get married. So just buckle down, Pisces, and get ready for your entire life to change, because it's about to happen. Whether you like it or not, it's about to happen. So I hope that y'all enjoyed this. Definitely make sure that you guys go to my website, thealigningsouls.com, to book you a personal reading. Again, all of these zodiac signs, this is just collective messages, but in order to figure out how the Mercury retrograde is affecting you personally on a natal soul level, please go to my website, book you a reading so we can dive deeper, as well as do other types of reading as well. All right, so I love each and every one of you guys. I will see you guys in the next motherfucking session. Bye.